Eleanor had been married for 15 years. During that time, she had acquired a house, a car, and given birth to 2 children. Her husband, George, was a serious and responsible man who worked hard. "I'm grateful to fate for meeting my husband," she would tell her friends. "You're lucky, Eleanor. George is a wonderful father, a loving and faithful husband." George and Eleanor were an ordinary family. They sometimes argued, made up, and got annoyed over trivial things. But overall, they lived relatively peacefully. Eleanor was not jealous. She knew her husband loved her. She also never gave him a reason to be jealous. "And you've never cheated on him?" her friend Vivian asked her. "Never." "Why would I?" "I don't see the need," Eleanor replied. "Why? Ask our Alice. She's on her 5th lover already. She just won't settle down. I'm still surprised how she manages to hide everything from her husband for so long. But she goes to expensive restaurants, dresses lavishly, and drives a brand-new car. You have to know how to do that too." "I don't know, girls. I think Eleanor is great. Her husband isn't a playboy. He loves her madly, and I doubt he's ever cheated on her." Eleanor laughed it off, but she remembered how her family life had changed a year ago. She had accidentally read a correspondence between George and a certain Laura. It turned out they had been together for 8 whole years. There was a big scandal. Eleanor was going to file for divorce. The same correspondence saved everything. In it, he frankly said he loved his wife and children and would never leave them. He only met with Laura to relieve stress and change the scenery. Of course, the couple's relationship had already deteriorated at that point. How could there be any talk of idol when trust was lost? Eleanor couldn't forgive her husband for a long time. They lived separately for a while. They only reconciled 6 months later. Only Eleanor's mother and her best friend Chloe knew about this unpleasant incident. Everyone else saw an ideal family. "So, how are you living after that? You just forgave him?" Chloe asked her. "We live as before. I forgave him, but I haven't forgotten. During any argument, I bring up his Laura. He gets terribly angry. And besides, the trust is undermined. Every time George is late, I think he's spending time with someone." After George's secret was revealed, he became more attentive to his wife. He tried to spoil her, showering her with chocolates, gifts, and flowers. What will happen next? Eleanor wondered. He doesn't bring me joy like he used to. Sometimes I don't even want to see him. The only comfort is that he loves the children and does everything for them. Only Eleanor's mother saw her depressed state. In public, she tried to pretend everything was fine. "Don't worry, dear. Everything will work out. Do you think your father never cheated on me? Faithful men are rare. Yours is no exception. So what if he stumbled? Gave in to temptation? It happens to everyone. His temptation lasted for 8 years. Think about the children. He's not a bad man. He's not stingy. Everything goes into the house. Forgive and forget." "I can't stop thinking about it." "Honey, I know. You need a change of scenery, find a job, or just get out somehow. Take up something so you won't want to dwell on the past," her mother advised. At the time, Eleanor couldn't have imagined how one chance encounter would change everything. It happened in the summer. During a terrible heat wave, Eleanor's air conditioner broke down. She called her friend Chloe. "My AC is broken. George is at work. Do you happen to know any repairman? Maybe someone who fixes them?" "Oh, girl, what would you do without me? I just happen to know someone. Write down the number and call him." Eleanor wrote down the number and was dialing it 3 minutes later. A pleasant male voice with a slight rasp answered the phone. It sent light shivers down Eleanor's spine. The man on the phone turned out to be very polite. After discussing all the details of the specialist call, Eleanor, impressed by the pleasant conversation, hung up. What a voice! Wow, it sends me hot and cold flashes. I only felt this way when I first met George, Eleanor mused to herself. At the appointed time, the doorbell rang. The children were playing outside. Eleanor was alone at home. Opening the door, she saw a tanned, handsome man with a wonderful athletic build. In his hands was a small toolbox. "Well now, where is our patient?" the young man asked, entering the room. "Who? Pardon me? Where is your air conditioner?" The man smiled, showing the hostess his perfect smile. "Oh yes, excuse me, please come in." Entering the room, the repairman began to examine the cause of the breakdown. He carefully inspected the AC unit and started fixing it. Eleanor stood frozen in amazement. She was filled with mixed feelings. On one hand, she was inexplicably drawn to the stranger, and on the other, she reminded herself that she was not free and should be sensible. "Nothing serious. Don't worry. We'll patch up your patient, and it will work like new again." The man performed a few manipulations with the equipment and opened the window. He checked the condition of the cords, the sturdiness of the fasteners, and was about to close it, but accidentally hit a potted flower. Unexpectedly, the pot fell and shattered on the neighbor's ledge below. "I'm so sorry. That was clumsy." The man tried to apologize. "I didn't mean to." But Eleanor didn't even manage to react. She was as if hypnotized. "Are you all right? Cash or card payment? I'll give you a discount for the destroyed flower." Eleanor snapped out of it, took the receipt, and looked intently at the young man. "Here's my card. Call me if you need me. Everything's written here. Are you sure you're okay?" Eleanor looked at the card. The repairman's name was Leo. She smiled distractedly and handed him the required sum. "Thank you. Well, all the best to you." After the repairman left, Eleanor stood still for about 10 minutes. Her son's voice brought her back to reality. "Mom, can we go to the neighbor's yard? Michael is back from the seaside." "Of course, dear, go." The whole day Eleanor was under the impression. Leo's voice lingered in her ears. "What's wrong with me? I acted like an idiot. He's just a repairman," she thought. "I need to urgently return to reality." Before she could fully recover, the doorbell rang. Leo was standing on the doorstep, holding a pot with a dracena. "Terribly sorry. Here, I brought you a new plant. Again, sorry I ruined yours." "Oh, no need. You shouldn't have." I should. It was my fault." Leo handed the potted plant to Eleanor. "Do you need anything else fixed?" "No, thank you. Nothing else is broken yet." "Too bad. Well, good that nothing is broken. Then I'll be going. Have a nice day." "You too." Leo went down. Eleanor watched him for a long time. He turned around once more and smiled at her. "Okay, that's enough. The man is very nice, but stop staring at him. It's inappropriate," Eleanor thought, and closed the door. The next day, she was walking home from the store with a bunch of bags and groceries. She saw a bus at the stop and ran after it, but the driver didn't wait for her and drove off. "Hey, stop!" Eleanor shouted. One of the bag handles broke, and several apples rolled onto the ground. "Let me help you." A familiar male voice with a slight rasp sounded. Eleanor looked up and saw Leo. "I'm on a service call nearby, but I can give you a ride home." "Oh no, you don't have to," Eleanor said, picking up the apples scattered on the road. Leo bent down and helped her. They both reached for one apple at the same time. Their hands touched. Feeling an unprecedented tremor throughout her body, Eleanor slowly pulled her hand back. "Get in, I'll take you," he said, wiping the apple Eleanor had left behind and taking a bite with appetite. Well, if it's not too much trouble. Eleanor hesitated. At that very moment, Leo took her bags and placed Eleanor's groceries in his trunk. Get in. Eleanor obediently got into the car. At that moment, she wanted to scream with happiness. Being in such euphoria, she completely forgot about her husband and children. They both chatted non-stop almost all the way home. As it turned out, they had a lot in common. Pulling up to the entrance, Leo helped Eleanor out of the car and carried the groceries into the house. "Thank you for helping me." Eleanor beamed. "You're welcome. If you're not in a hurry, I'd like to treat you to a cup of coffee." Eleanor paused briefly. "I'd love to, but I have a lot of things to do." "Well, if that's the case, I won't keep you." Leo smiled and disappeared behind the elevator doors. "What an idiot I am. Why did I lie? I don't have any things to do. But then again, I shouldn't be doing all this. What if someone I know sees me?" Eleanor reasoned. The next day, Eleanor took her children to the summer school. It was a private institution that operated during the summer. They spent the whole day there, playing, eating, singing songs, and learning English. After saying goodbye to them, she met Leo at the exit. He was holding the hand of a little red-haired boy, about 7 years old. "Hi," Eleanor greeted him. "I didn't expect to see you here. I know almost all the parents." "Hello, we're here temporarily. I had no one to leave him with." "Your son?" "No," Leo smiled. "My nephew. If you're not in a hurry, we could get coffee somewhere." "Thanks, but in this heat, I don't really feel like coffee." "Wait for me here. I'll drop off the kid, and we'll figure something out." This time, Eleanor didn't rush anywhere and decided to wait for Leo outside. A few minutes later, he came out. "Get in the car. I want to show you something." Eleanor looked at him and got into the car. After driving around the city for a bit, they pulled into a small outdoor cafe. "Stay in the car. I'll be right back." Before Eleanor could look around, Leo approached her. He was carrying 2 waffle cones with ice cream. "This is better than coffee. Let's go for a walk." Leo took her hand, and they walked around the corner of the cafeteria. There was a small clearing and a lake. A wooden bench stood on the shore. "Oh, this is wonderful!" Eleanor gasped excitedly. "Thank you for persuading me to come here." "I didn't really persuade you. You wanted to take a walk yourself. It's obvious." With those words, Leo touched Eleanor's cheek. "Don't. It was probably a mistake to come here with a near stranger." Eleanor moved his hand away and sat down on the edge of the bench. "You probably think I'm easy. I'm not. I'm married. I have children. This is all wrong." Leo moved closer to her. "I understand that. I see it, and I appreciate it. But something is drawing you, just like it's drawing me. Don't deny it. I feel it." "You're mistaken." Eleanor got up from the bench and walked closer to the lake, turning her back to Leo. "No, I'm not mistaken." With those words, Leo came up behind her and wrapped his arms around Eleanor's waist. At that very moment, Eleanor turned around and looked at the young man. Her eyes held passion, desire, and fear. "What am I doing?" Eleanor asked, and she and Leo kissed. From then on, they started meeting every day. They went to nature, spent time in a hotel, at a summer house, and cherished every minute. They wanted to be together. "I can't believe you, girl. I never expected this from you. And here you were acting like a saint," Chloe said to Eleanor when she told her everything. "Stop it. I'm disgusted by all this. I hate myself. But he is so... I just can't describe it." "So, what are you going to do now? What about George? The children?" "What about them? I'm having a great time. For the first time in so long, I feel happy. Well, be careful. Don't even think about telling your husband. Are you kidding? He'll probably kill me. A year passed. Eleanor and Leo continued to meet secretly. He gave her gifts, which she conveniently gave to Chloe, as she couldn't bring them home. He gave her money for various purchases. He delighted her with pleasant little things. At one point, he even confessed he loved her. Eleanor reciprocated. "So, what do we do now?" Eleanor asked, resting her head on Leo's chest. He looked at her and gently ran his fingers through her hair. "I don't know. Maybe we should leave everything and go somewhere?" "Are you serious?" "Yes. Why not? Your family, your husband, all this is pulling you back and not giving you complete freedom." "Stop it. I am not going to leave my husband and abandon my children." At that moment, Leo's face even changed, but he contained his emotions. Eleanor noticed it, but said nothing. A week later, things became more complicated. Leo suddenly changed. He started getting jealous of Eleanor's husband and children. He flooded her with texts and calls. Before, he did this cautiously. Now his calls became frequent and intrusive. "I don't know what happened to him. He's changed so much. He calls all the time. And he does it at any time of day or night. I have to keep my phone on silent. Once he called drunk, first said all sorts of nasty things, and then bothered me with apologies," Eleanor told Chloe. "Well, what can I tell you? Your fling has dragged on. You need to break up with him. Otherwise, mark my words, he'll do something nasty to you." That evening, Eleanor thought long and hard. And when she analyzed everything, she decided to slowly distance herself from Leo. She suddenly became very busy. She got a job. She started talking to him less on the phone and responding less to messages. Leo, however, went crazy. He flooded her with messages, called frequently, and waited for her near her building, the store, and the summer school. And when Eleanor told him she didn't want to see him anymore, he started threatening to tell her husband everything. Eleanor didn't pay attention to these threats. She blocked him on social networks and blacklisted Leo everywhere. A little later, strange coincidences began to happen in Eleanor's life. First, someone punctured the tires on their car. Then, someone seemed to cut the metal on the side of the car where Eleanor usually sat, as if with an axe. But when Eleanor started receiving photos of herself, her children, and her husband being thrown near her, she got scared. That evening, she mustered the courage and told her husband everything. And when all the facts were clarified, Eleanor took the children and left for her mother's house in the countryside. A few days later, someone called her from an unknown number and remained silent on the line for a long time. "Leo, is that you? I know it's you. I'm not afraid of you anymore. My husband knows everything about us. You can leave me alone now." Long beeps sounded on the line. No one called Eleanor again. In the autumn, a car pulled up to her mother's house. It was George. Seeing him, Eleanor walked out into the yard. "How are you, Elle? I miss you." "All right. 1.1. A draw. Come back. I can't be without you all." "You're still joking." "No, I'm serious. I came for you. Get ready." At that moment, the children ran out of the house. They hugged their father and clung tightly to their mother. Finally, the whole family was complete.